and one, Julie Vanloo, was waived by the Valkyries. And you saw her social media post, which made it sound like she had no idea that this was coming. She was her country had just finished winning Eurobasket, and she was on her way back, and she wanted to join the Valkyries as soon as she could. And they waived her, and I don't know what the communication was there. I haven't heard anybody on the Valkyrie side actually explain. So before we even critique what that scenario was, I'd like to see their side of things. But beloved player, like I would say the most beloved player in the history of Bay Area sports, who was only on the team for like a handful of games. Like that was impressive how the fans really embraced just not only her, but just like the loss. It was like, oh my gosh, we're losing one of our own. Like this is insane. And it kind of caught everyone off guard. Before we even get into the why, what was your initial thought when you saw that come across? I think it was probably Twitter.
I mean, I've been hinting that I thought that there could be someone from the initial 12 waived if they wanted to keep one of Amihir or Chen. I just didn't think it would be Vanloo. I kept saying Talbot, but she keeps starting, and I kind of felt like she was maybe starting more because they didn't have Janelle versus like, oh, Talbot's just this great starter. Like I think she is a really good player. I think she is a good player. That's why I was saying I thought you can get something for her in a trade because she's a vet. She does what you want her to do. She just doesn't do like much more, right? Like it's like she'll rebound, she'll pass, she'll shoot, she'll do all the right plays. I just didn't expect someone with like Vanloo, loved by the fans, kind of like can be really on, can also be really off a little bit. Like I didn't, that just didn't cross my mind. I thought that all the Eurobasket players were like, and I've told you, I told on this podcast, I was watching Eurobasket. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the finals, which sounded like the best game. But all of the Valkyries were like, first team all Eurobasket, second team Eurobasket. You stay won the Rookie of the Year award for that tournament.
Yeah.
Vanloo second team, Xanda Lassini first team, Salon. I don't know where she ended up, but she should have been up there if she wasn't. I think that's just because they might have lost a little too early. But I just didn't expect it. Didn't expect. Neither did Julie. It sounds like there were some quotes today from practice. They had practice.
Oh, I didn't see them.
Wednesday afternoon. It's over, and a few of the beat writers or beat reporters asked Nakase about the situation, and she kind of, she was saying, you could tell like she doesn't like doing this. She doesn't like cutting players. Like
she's mentioned that they just need more players. She's like, I wish we had 15 roster spots.
Yeah, and that's a topic amongst itself that everyone agrees there should be more roster spots. I wonder how they do that because in the NBA you have 15, but you have 3 two-ways, but then you don't have a G League in the WNBA. So are those players just like, how do you work with the activation stuff? Like if they count for a game towards the two-way, or do you just do a taxi squad like we do in our sleeper league where, you can't, that player just basically is like a red shirt unless you bring them out and then they're officially against the roster count. I don't know. Just so you could have that player rostered. That's a whole different discussion, but yeah, she was kind of, see that I know you said we don't want to critique, and I don't want to critique, but I think we should set the scene, right? Belgium won the Eurobasket tournament, a team that Julie Vanloo is on, a team that former Valkyrie Kiara Linskens is on, our team / country that Emma Miesemann represents. And they beat Spain in the championship round, which I forget if, it solidifies you a spot in the Olympics or kind of what happens after winning that. But there was a like kind of parade ceremony thing where you meet with like the royalty, like the Belgium, like I don't know if it's the king or queen, or I don't know how what they got going on over there, but it sounds like a celebration with the fans and with some people. And Julie, I don't think it's because of the prioritization rule, because I don't think she fits the qualifications of the prioritization rule, because it's 2 years of service and this is like her second year or something. So I think it's after 2 years it counts, but I think she wanted to get back as quick as possible to maybe be with the team for this Wednesday practice or something, or just get back to the Bay Area. I'm sure she's got all her belongings there right now. And she gets back, and I think it was when her flight landed in San Francisco that she learned that she got cut. So she missed the celebration, which is what's being critiqued right now, I think, of like, should have let her just if you were gonna cut her, you should have just let her go. But we don't know, if the Valkyries were aware of this. Maybe they should have been. But I think there's a question of I think they indirectly marketed themselves as, hey, European players, come play for us. Like, we understand your value. We understand that you have these obligations. Come play with us. We'll work through it. That's kind of what I was feeling post expansion draft. Some of the offseason pickups in Salon, in Linskins, and maybe those were the only two for the offseason. But it just seemed like there was a clear, and then the draft pick of Ustay, it just seemed like a clear, like, we're kind of going to be international heavy. And then to maybe do one of those players dirty, but we don't know yet. But it kind of, based on, I don't know if how familiar you are with Emma Miesemann, but she is like, I think Richard Cohen thinks she's the best player in the world. And
didn't somebody say, or somebody made a funny tweet, like, if you brought her, they have a spot, they have money. If you brought her in after this break is over, then like all hell breaks loose or something like that.
You have your 1A. You have not 1A. You have your 1. That's your 1. They get Miesemann. That's their 1. You could seriously say,
does nobody have her rights?
Nope.
How is that even
her
possible?
last appearance is Finals MVP in like 2022.
Okay, I did see a quote by Natalie Nakase, and she said something to the effect of, the way that you show them respect is to bring them in and tell them face to face. That was their reasoning for not telling her before she took her plane ride or something. So I sense that the WNBA and in the history of the league, it is very tough. It is very cutthroat. It is very business oriented because they have so many spots. And not that the players should know this or be aware of it or always be on eggshells, but I'm sure for Julie, she's not a rookie, right? She kind of understands the business of basketball. And you could tell in her social media posts, she was very smart and strategic about not blaming and about mentioning how much she loved her experiences. So she is a pro's pro in that way. Now, I want to give you a little bit of numbers as far as why this move may not have been a terrible move just from a basketball on the court perspective. So I was looking at this, and the problem is that she only played 9 games. So you have a half of a season sample, whereas Kayla and Veronica have played 16 games. So when you look just at the numbers, your normal basketball stats, she's the worst player when it comes to plus minus. She's a minus 8.9. Now, to give her a little bit of credit, they gelled chemistry wise, like just recently, the last 9 games or something is when they really kicked off their run. So she was only a little bit of a part of that. She also shot the it looked like the 3rd most threes a game, and she only made 21% of those threes.
What's that stack up against the rest of the squad?
So from a 3-point shooting perspective,
is she even the worst?
No, she is not the worst, because Carla is at 10% off of 2.3 attempts per game. Monique Billings is 19% off of 1.5 attempts per game. And then it was Julie at 21.1% off of 4.2 attempts per game. Someone like Kayla shoots almost 7, and she's getting closer to 30%. The best 3-point shooter on the team, only in a small sample size, obviously, was Xanda Lacini. So we'll see if she continues.
Bibby was probably up there too.
Bibby was at 42.1.
Yeah.
So she was second. And so just a couple of other numbers. I'm not here to make Julie sound like a terrible player in any way. But the thing that I wanted to look at more closely, because if you watch the games, the thing that stands out about Caitlin is Caitlin plays like a very a point guard who protects the basketball is kind of how I see it.
She kind of feels like an old school NBA point guard. You're not getting like there's not like this really, really good thing like that. She's not a great 3-point shooter. Not a great scorer. She's honestly not even a great like Julie's a better facilitator than she is, but she just like does all the right things and like does all the hustle plays, dives on the ground all the time, makes the right pass, like she's kind of like Veronica Burton, honestly.
Caitlin has 1 turnover per game in 19.3 minutes per game. She's only played 4 games. Julie in at 20 minutes per game, she was averaging 2.6 turnovers per game.
What are the assist splits for both players?
This is where Julie wins, essentially, because she is the second leading assist person on the team behind Veronica Burton. Veronica averages 5.2, Julie averages 4.1. And it's very clear, if you watch the games, that Julie is going to make plays that Caitlin will not even attempt to make, right? Especially on passes, getting the ball up, fast breaks. Caitlin is going to be a little bit more guarded in those moments, at least so far. Caitlin could,
and that, I agree. It's also like, it's also not a diss to Caitlin. Julie's just a really gifted passer. Like she's just really gifted in that field. She sees the plays. She sees, the skip passes. She sees the pick and roll. Like she just knows how to get it to the roller and not a diss to Caitlin. Julie's just a really gifted facilitator.
Yeah, it's very clear. Like she wants to play up-tempo basketball.
Yes.
She wants to push. She's pulling up for 3 off of the break and maybe doing some things that maybe was a little antithetical to how they wanted to play, though, as we know, Natalie wants them to shoot threes. You know that they shoot the most threes per game, and they have the worst. And they have the worst percentage by far.
I say this every podcast. I look at that's what I was doing before the podcast. I was just went to team stats, traditional, and just started filtering. Like, okay, what are they leading in? They actually lead in rebounds now.
Yeah,
I forget if they led in rebounds before, but they're 37.6 per game. Second is Atlanta Dream with 37.1. I think they're third in defensive rebound, third in offensive rebound, so that makes them first in rebounding. But yeah, 3-point attempts. Number one
some
in the
of
league
those offensive
30.1.
rebounds come off of those 3-point attempts too.
Yeah, long misses. So 30.1 3-pointers attempts per game, and then percentage-wise, they're the worst at 28.7. So hypothetically, Julie fit in with what they wanted to do. Take a lot of threes and miss them.
And at the same time, very easy to like. She had this little thing with KD. Fun story. KD, former Warriors player, just seemed like she had great fun spirit on the court. So yeah, like I understand the frustration, but again, it's like also this like early franchise stuff. You create your favorites. We didn't even have anybody to cheer for a couple of months ago, and then you watch the team play and you find your favorites, and I can definitely see why Julie was beloved.